real right now.
Mr. DL.
222 222. Who's off? I could just lose your mind.
Yes, we are back. Number 72 of the Danger Zone podcast with the legendary
Big Shug
and Mr. DL. Chef Tanya.
Mr. DL.
Chef Tanya is away today. But yeah, it's been a good week. We got yesterday was a great concert with Big Shug, DJ Premier. It was awesome.
Oh, wow. Oh, right? Yeah, man. We did that shit. That's right, man.
Yeah, that was dope.
Oh, that's right, man. You spoke that right, because I would have probably said something to the end.
Yeah, so.
But it was a great time. Everybody showed up,
Yep.
showed out. You know what I'm saying?
And
Shout out to Nice and Smooth. Shout out to Black Nubian Market. Shout out to, man, Planet Patrol. Our man's Edo G.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Great time, great day. You know what I'm saying? We know what it is.
We'll have some footage for that for you guys soon. Yeah.
We'll let y'all peep that, you know what I'm saying? It was great though, you know, it was a tribute to Guru and rest in peace Guru, man, the great, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, just dope time, man, you know. But on another note, you know what I'm saying? As I watch a lot of drama on TV and the bullets start to shift, you know, I'll be at the crib doing the Danger Zone, sipping out a sniffing. Yeah, boy, you know what it is.
No stew mugs for you.
I'm sniffing. I know them stew mugs will fuck you up, man, for real. Like, but you know, on another note, man, I'm gonna dig here the archives real quick and people. Well, this one is Snoop Dogg.
Oh, nice.
Right. So, speaking of hip hop, you know, Snoop Dogg responds to Island Boy, threatening to beat his ass on side. That's just funny as hell. Cause Snoop Dogg's mad skinny. It ain't like he's someone that looks like you're gonna be boxing and shit. But then again, it's like I know it's gonna just not come up and beat your ass, nigga. So don't get it twisted. But hold on one second.
I was part of the Island Boys fucking viral moment. One of my tweets was used in that viral video that they made making fun of them. One of my random tweets, and it wasn't even that funny. It was like I wrote like I'm an island boy, mumble island boy. That's all I wrote. It wasn't even funny. And I just got screenshotted and just for some reason.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember I was an island boy when I was locked up. I was at Dare Island. But and it's literally on an island. You know what I'm saying? So y'all who maybe spent time there or know me and we was there, we was island boys for a hot minute.
Is that the prison is that the prison you were in that closed down?
I think they did close down. I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah, you said it was like a wild place or something like that.
It was a regular, I think it's a county joint in the beginning. Then they started accepting state inmates. You know what I mean? So it kind of changed. But Snoop Dogg responds to Island Boy, fly soldier threats to beat his ass on sight. And the Death Row legend, who has been through it all, doesn't seem too phased. Probably not.
No.
Fly soldier sent a series of menacing messages to Snoop sometime last year after the Dogfather clowned the duel on Peacock's 21 and Done special alongside Kevin Hart in late 2021. This is a little while ago.
Yeah.
If he were to say that to me in real life on sight, I would fade him. This is what the Fly Soldier saying. The tatted up social media star warned in a video. I would beat his ass. I swear to God on everything in my life, I swear to God, if I ever see him, it's on sight. Mm-hmm. So the 51-year-old Snoop Dogg finally responded on Wednesday, June 7th, and couldn't help but to laugh of the threats from someone half his age. Yeah, probably not. He said, I don't want no smoke with it, cuz. He's joking though, you know what I'm saying? In the post, while leaving a series of crying face emojis. Timbaland, DJ Pooh, Lil Eazy-E, and many more of Snoop's followers were left in stitches at the hilarious exchange. Obviously, he took it as, a calamitous event. I'm speechless, Snoop Dogg said after watching the clip. Two goofballs in the pool. I don't know. It ain't trying to understand. I guess is what he initially said.
Yeah.
After Fly Soldier Boy's threatened response, Island Boys eventually backed off and called a truce as they apologized to Snoop Dogg. Yeah, because it wasn't going to help their career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you know, and
Snoop Dogg doesn't even have to be tough. Like, Snoop Dogg doesn't even have to be tough because you're not getting close to him. Like,
that's why that motherfucker he's good there talking about Suge Knight's a bitch and the whole world know it.
Yeah.
So if he gonna say that about him and live his life, no matter what their situation is now, he definitely gonna call you goofball type.
Yeah.
Thought you was
what do you think about that? All these rappers. What do you think about all these rappers coming out now and having bad things to say about Suge Knight publicly when before they were quiet as church mice?
I mean, listen.
Did I say Big Sugar or Suge Knight? You know what I meant.
Yes, but at the same time, I wholeheartedly understand it because me, being somewhat of a menacing character, man, back in the day, and then I watched a few things happen and evolve, like when I was away, that knowing that they wouldn't if I was there. You see what I'm saying? So that's what people do. They're like, they're gonna run their mouth now because obviously they feel like, oh shit, he's in there 28 years. And after even he does his time, no one's gonna come back out here and be a fool. You know what I'm saying? Because you got life to live. I mean, brother still got some bread or whatever. But it's always sucker shit. One element of life is what they say for years, man. Even that dude with the big nose back in the day, W.C. Fields. It's just shuck up on every minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I mean, that's what it is. So it's sucker shit all the time. You know what I mean? So of course people wouldn't be saying something, man.
Yeah.
You know, I've had people tell stories about something they was gonna do to me, which I knew was calamitous. You know what I mean? But that people won't speak. Like they speak around people. But of course they're not gonna just do it. And today, motherfuckers will say what they're gonna do, whatever, but they know nothing's gonna happen because everybody's telling or threatening you, and as soon as you come their way, you're in trouble. Yep. Like for instance, I just watched. Speaking of that, I just watched a video with Kwame Brown. He's been in a verbal battle with well, not really a battle. I guess he's been doing most of the talking when it comes to Shannon Sharp, and you know, he called him a thick-tongued motherfucker, whatever that means. I don't know. I gotta see what that means. I don't even know if I want to know.
That's a clever way of saying you're retarded, mentally retarded.
I don't know because that thick-tongue shit. I don't.
Yeah, that's what they say. People with Down syndrome have big tongues.
That shit sound like a multi-pause to me. That's a dimensional pause. I was like, yo, I mean. Octagon pause. I don't know what the fuck.
It's a weak diss, but I think that's where he was trying to say. Yeah.
Well, here's the crazy thing about it. So he's talking all that shit, calling him boy, telling him he got clowned on the show by Skip Bayless. He's really ranting, really sound real tough, in a peacockish type of way. But he says all this, but he said, yeah, you come up on me with all the muscles and shit, looking ugly and the motherfucking boy. I got my mace spare for you. You see what I'm saying? That's the type of shit that you're gonna hear now. You're not gonna hear somebody say, like, I'm gonna fight this dude, or when I see you, I slap the shit out of you, whatever.
Yeah.
That's all. That's talk now. It's talk. And then when it happens, like dude's telling you right now, you come up on me, I'm gonna spray you with this mace. You see what I'm saying? So you already know you're gonna take it legal. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't care if the dude's 7'2". You know Shannon Sharp, man, looking like, man, a muscular warthog.
Yeah.
Like his shit is like, yo, he'll probably punch a hole through this boy. So, but we know that's all banter. It's all this social media banter. The dude ain't fighting nobody. Like, just like those basketball players he was arguing with, nobody can hold you back, man. Like, I don't give a fuck. Motherfucker, if you want to get over there and slap the hell out of motherfucker Shannon Sharp, you can do it. You know what I mean? People, it's just, all this shit is back and forth banter on some cornball shit. And like I said, suckers every minute. So it's just another sucker ploy. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, no. The next one, I do think Shannon Sharp would probably fuck that dude up, even though he's much older than him. Actually, no, he's not older than him. Kwame Brown, he played on the. Yeah, they're probably roughly around the same age, right?
No. Well, wait a minute. Nah, I think Shannon's a little older.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Kwame Brown is the same age as LeBron.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Didn't Kwame Brown play with Michael Jordan in Washington?
Yeah, but he also played for Michael Jordan was the one who made him a #1 pick.
Okay.
I believe. You know what I mean? And he's in the.
I'm 41.
Yo, he 41. Yeah,
Okay.
we got that from the true section. You know what I mean?
Producer True.
Yeah, the question is that true.
So I want to
Yo.
talk about this because everyone always talks about bring your homies up with you, bring your homies up with you. Quavo claims that he pays his assistant $5,000 a day, and he said he made his homies millionaires. That's a lot of money, bro.
Yeah.
I did the math. That's $1.8 million a year.
But at $5,000 a day,
Yeah,
right? Okay, yeah, okay. Wow,
that's crazy,
quite
right?
a bit. Not a bad job. I mean, 5,000 a week
Yeah.
ain't bad.
5,000 a day, and if you're really his assistant, you're going to be there at every moment, so you're not paying for anything all day.
No.
You're not paying for lunch, you're not paying for travel, you're not paying for clothes, nothing.
Probably whole.
Yeah, exactly. You're getting all his runoff, you know what I'm saying?
No question, man. It's kind of crazy because either you're gonna be smart or you're gonna be stupid. Bottom line is, if you want to, because I seen LeBron. Like I think I spoke to you about this off air, but LeBron, man, brought up his boys with him. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And everybody, made money, and everybody's, pretty successful on some real shit. And then you got the people that are surrounded by about a bunch of yes cats. You know what I mean? And they're spending all their money, and then they're telling you like a few years later, oh man, I was spending $20,000 a month for this and doing this and doing that. So, you know what I'm saying? Hey, if that's how he was getting down, kudos, man. That, let's all eat, man. Let's, the little adage of let's all eat, and that was your peoples and shit. You really doing that? Because the way it is now, if you say you're doing that and you're not really doing that, so all that's gonna happen is a book's gonna come out in a year or two. You know what I mean? Check it out. Notice we've never seen no explosive ass books about Suge Knight. You know what I mean? Or no books about. You think tons of people around these people. You haven't heard no stories and nothing on them. You know what I mean? So
It's just so crazy how much more money the average rapper has these days when the industry collapsed.
Right.
It's kind of crazy to me, and I know that there's other things at play. I understand that they're not making it all off selling CDs. I know that they might have other aspects. They might get endorsements. They might own a restaurant. They might, you know what I'm saying, or apartment buildings. You know what I'm saying. So it just fascinates me how no one buys music, but these guys are getting paid $5,000 a day to carry an umbrella. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I know I saw Post Malone on some shit like that when we were shooting the movie. What's the worst?
Confidential.
Spencer Confidential.
Yeah.
He walked around back and forth regular with a dude holding an umbrella. So how much was that dude probably getting?
Yeah.
And then sometimes through the youth too, sometimes you'll search some money in a stupid way, and pay people whatever, but then you realize as time goes, like, damn, that shit ain't really the smartest. You know what I'm saying? See, one thing about being smart, if you're totally intellectually smart, you're never going to be stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not if you're intellectually smart, you know what the fuck, what's going on.
Yeah.
But if you're dumb, I feel like if you're dumb, you're not going to get dumber. You're already dumb. If that's the case.
Recording in progress.
But you can become smart. You can learn and be smarter.
Yeah.
But if you're smart, you're not. If you're smart, you're not gonna never be stupid. Like that's how I look at it, or dumb. I got this big thing on my screen. What happened?
I don't know. I see you. I can see you.
Oh, maybe it's just there. I don't know.
Speaking of smart, speaking of being smart and all that, Young Buck apparently has to sell his entire catalog to pay the money he owes 50 Cent. And to me, I'm like, how do you owe him money?
Yeah, that sounds kind of.
You know what I'm saying? Like, should be the other way around. I don't know the ins and outs, but to me, it should be the other way around.
That shit sounds aspiratus. You know what I mean? Like that shit doesn't sound too true, but like a lot of things in hip hop, the story itself might not be true. But today, as I think we spoke about this before, all the monies that people want or should have maybe got years ago, or whatever, they want them now.
Yeah.
You know, when they start looking around and like you said, they're not making money from CDs or whatever, they're like, well, then they use your voice right here 107 times. That was a hit record. You should be getting money. You know what I mean? So I hear records with me in the hook, but I don't be chasing that. Right. But people are chasing that.
So,
see what I'm saying?
So here it is right here. 50 Cent gave Young Buck in advance of whatever the amount was, $250,000 to create music, and he never turned it in.
Well,
so I guess that's where it all stems from right there. But
then again,
Young Buck's having a tough go of it.
That's kind of weird though, because the industry at one point was giving a lot of people money and never put out that music. Yeah. And you didn't have to pay them back. I know that for a fact. You know what I mean? So that's why sometimes that could just be media or whatever. Yeah. Who knows? But I'm just saying, you know, I don't know. But speaking of that paying it back, no,
oh shit,
it ain't really paying it back. But Janet Jackson.
Oh shit.
A recent tour. She's on a tour, but she just
I went to the show.
And her show, she kissed the backup dancer. She tongued them out.
Yeah, she did. She grabbed his dick.
Oh yeah. So they say she tongued him down. It says on while completing her set in Austin, Texas, for her Together Again tour, the 5-time Grammy-winning singer decided to give fans a show that they'll never forget.
She did.
A video clip of the show that surfaced online over the weekend sees Janet tonguing down her very attractive and presumably much younger dancer while on stage. The crowd immediately roared with excitement as Jackson continued on with her sensual performance. Yeah. Likewise, the dancer, who has been identified as Dario Boatner, seems more than pleased to be the muse of Miss Jackson. Yeah. Now, Pete, the crazy thing about that, okay, it's Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson was on All the Rave.
Yeah.
30 years ago, you know what I mean? Some time ago. And she's the Janet Jackson the Great. But my man and the fans, she's still up there slobbing like a young dude.
Yeah.
So if anything, she's on the come up because like most dudes ain't going around, man, slobbing down old chicks.
Yeah, but like if it was Keith Richards slobbing down a 20-year-old, everyone would have something to say about it.
You know what I mean? They'd be like, oh, she likes that old ass bastard. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's true. But if anything, she getting her cougar on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like this dude sitting there like, okay, I get paid, I dance. And he probably could have been of a different persuasion. We don't even know.
Yeah, but, I was there. He was. But
you know what I mean?
So basically, when I saw it, they were using that. You know that song she has where there are a lot of people dancing and they're using the chair. Like there's a bunch of people using chair. I forget what song it was. What is that? That the way love goes? Maybe that's the one. But they're doing that song and he's sitting in the chair like how I'm sitting. She's standing behind him like right here. The camera pans in on his crotch. She reaches down, grabs his dick, spins the chair, and then they start making out. So I thought it was. I'm with you. I was like, this shit is fucking a little much. But hey, what are you gonna do? Because it's like people were going crazy for it though. It was nuts.
No, like people complain about R. Kelly right now, right? So I remember going to a concert, man, and he dropped his drawers. Dropped his drawer, grabbed his joint, and was hitting some noise. Hitting some noise. Annoying. That's a joint. That's a joint and a note. So he was hitting the note for mad long, shaking his joint. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so he's shaking it. His motherfucker screaming and girl. It was actually a couple of like young kids screaming. I was like, yo, that's just kind of whack.
Yeah.
But I just he got his. Anybody who ever went to them shows seen it. The dude had his pants down his ankles. Hitting some note and shaking his joint. Obviously, no one had nothing to say about that. Like,
So does being an artist or a hockey player make you exempt from certain laws, like sex? Like that's a sex crime right there. Hockey, for example, they let two men fist fight. You know what I'm saying?
knock my fucking teeth out.
Yeah, and
You
it's
know what
like,
I mean?
but they don't get in trouble after the game. The cops don't come. They literally let it happen, and it's just
One thing they do get in trouble with though, which is, I still think is crazy, but I guess they should, is when they be hitting the motherfucker with a stick.
yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, they hit a motherfucker with the stick. You know what I mean? Then it's like the police coming or whatever.
I was the first guy to take my skate off and try to stab somebody.
You know. On another note, man, you know what I'm saying? You know, we are sitting tight. We record this the same night as well as, well, I know we might have to change that.
No, it's all good.
But
they know.
Miami, Miami is playing Denver. It's tied at 2-1.
Yep.
I mean, at 1-1 as
yeah.
we speak. Other game will be in a little while, so you know it's we'll see what happens, man. You know, I still think Denver could pull it out, but if Miami does, it'll be great because it's like I don't have a dog in the fight, but it's grimy, gritty way they would have done that, you know, in shooting and things like that. So
yeah.
And then an 8 seed that wasn't supposed to be there. So, and once you're there this far, you do belong there. You know what I mean? So.
Shug.
You know, shout out to them. You know,
What do you think?
Catch up.
What do you think of this lineup? We going? Run DMC, Snoop Dogg, Lil Wayne, Ice Cube, Eve, Lil Kim, Remy Ma, Trina, T.I., Fat Joe, Common, Ferg, EPMD, Ghostface Hill, Lupe Fiasco, Slick Rick, DJ Kool Herc, Grandmaster Kass, Curtis Blow, Melly Mel, Roxanne Shante, the Sugar Hill Gang, Yankee Stadium, coming up this summer. Isn't that a fucking insane lineup?
Yeah, man. And what, did they say what the date was?
Sorry, I don't have my glasses. Give me 1 second. August 11th.
Yeah, so that's some shit you right. Might really be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm going.
Like
I think
that.
we're going. I think the Joan podcast will be in the building.
Yeah, for real. You know, we with that. Well, listen, you know how we gotta move shit or whatever, but you know, I think I got something to say. You know, it's about that time unless you want to say something else.
I got some more things, but whatever you want.
Yeah, but we gotta tap in with dude.
Yeah. You can send them the message. I already sent it to him, so but I don't know if you saw it. So you can follow up with him if you want.
Right, because you know I got my stairs and his. You know, so if you want to talk about something.
You're using the phone? Yeah. Let me check.
No, I'm on the screen.
Oh, okay, I see you. I just wanted to say, well, before you get into that part of the week,
He said he's ready to rock anyway. So yeah,
all right, yeah. Just tell him to call in, and we'll let him in. I want to say, rest in peace, Shug. Did you ever give anybody the camel clutch growing up?
Like it what?
The camel clutch?
Dog, you gotta remember, I was giving out them hoes, man. Real talk.
That's what I'm saying. You ever gave it to anybody?
Oh yeah, you mostly the DDT and the pile drive. I definitely pile drive, and all this activity was on concrete. But I definitely I definitely suplex.
Yes.
What else did I do?
So
yes.
Rest in peace to the Iron Sheik, passed away this morning.
I peeped that too, man. You know what I'm saying?
Wrestling legend.
I definitely ran a few heads into the turnbuckle that really wasn't turnbuckles. But you know what I mean? It's just how life was at the time, you know? You realize you're in the streets emulating this wrestling shit, but it really wasn't. It was really painful.
And then the last thing, the people who made the Last Dance documentary have announced their next subject will be Barry Bonds.
Oh, that'll be a good one, man.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to that, but it is
that'll be a good one. I want to see that. Shout out to Gangstar. This week it was their 34th year on the No More Mr. Nice Guy debut album.
Yep.
With Guru Implement. So that's 34 years old today, man. Or well, not today, but this week. So, man, shout out to that, man. You know, and rest in peace, my brother Goo. What's up, brother?
Peace, brothers. How y'all doing, man?
Good, man.
He was in the
Glad to hear it.
He was in the teacher mode. I was like, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? The mouth was moving, but nothing was coming out. Like, so we
You think I would have this down by now, as much as I use Zoom with classes and stuff like that. But on the phone, it's a whole different animal. So I'm using my phone this time. But here we are.
Yeah, no question. And listen, we're glad to have you here.
Hell yeah.
Akrobatik. So what we want to do, right? Excuse me. What we want to do is You to get the fans kind of like a backstory, the ones who might not know about you, where you come from, and how this began, Akrobatik, and why you even matter now and going forward.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, the brief version of that, you know, is that I started out basically, you know, just as a regular kid growing up in Dorchester. My family, as far as like our Boston roots, first started off in Cambridge, and then, you know, we started moving around a little bit. And Dorchester is where my family was by the time I was born. So we were in the Codman Square area. So you know, I'm right there in the mix. You know what I mean? Like like I'm right between, like, you know, you go one way and you're looking at like Grove Hall. You go the other way and it's like, you know, Simcoe's and Mattapan and stuff like that. So it's like a nice, it felt centralized as far as the hood went. Like you could get to any hood from where I was pretty easily. And you know, just, I mean, really just getting into hip hop was about my mom, you know, like really just like playing the records around the house, just because she had me around the time where hip hop was really just starting. So like, you know, when the first rap records was coming out, I was just still a little kid. And so, you know, these records were getting thrown into the mix, you know, like The Message and the Birthday Rap and It's the Joint and all that stuff was getting thrown into the mix with all of the funk and soul and R&B classics that her and her friends and everybody was listening to at the time too. So hip hop just kind of naturally just fell into my lap. And then eventually she bought me my own vinyl. And my own first record that I got to use on the record player in my grandparents' house, and that was the Sucker MC's joint with It's Like That on the B side, you know. So that was my first record, and I wore that out, and then eventually I just wanted to be Run DMC, and then the older kids in the neighborhood would hook me up with, like, you know, mixtapes and things like that. Right. And I would get to hear the local radio shows, and then it was Kumo D for me. I mean, you know how it is with us MCs. It's like we all hear fly styles from other MCs, and it inspires us to want to be dope too and come up with our own stuff that's influenced by what they've done. So, you know, that was really what it was, just like hearing all of the dope MCs and just, you know, because of the fact that I was that one step younger, that one generation younger, I really was completely bought into it. I wasn't seeing these folks as my, you know, peers. I was seeing them, all of y'all, you know what I'm saying? To me, it was like superheroes, you know what I'm saying? The Gangsta Art Foundation was like superheroes to me. Right. So I just wanted to one day, you know, get a seat at that table, you know? Right. And so I didn't know how long of a grind it was going to be, but the real fun of it all is that. You know what I mean? Like getting on the Greyhound bus and going to New York City to do an open mic and stuff like that.
That's crazy. Not to cut you, but like, how old were you when you started, you know, to rap and put this thing together in that manner?
Well, I mean, I had my first little like rhyme writing partner when we was in like probably third grade. You know what I'm saying? We was writing songs. It was like people like real old school Boston heads might remember me as Stud B from when I was a teenager, like 15, 16 years old or whatever. And and before that, you know, 9, 10 years old, I was MC Stud. Like that name, yeah, it sounds silly now, but back then that was a word that you would hear more in mainstream talk. Oh, the guy's a stud, you know, Big John Stud versus Andre the Giant, that type of thing. So me and my man, he was MC Tick and I was MC Stud, and that's my man Tehran. Wherever you are out there, brother, salute, man, because that's my real start. Like 9 years old, writing rhymes in class when we're supposed to be studying, and then we make the little pause mixtapes, you know what I'm saying? We get the little clips of the instrumental off the radio show and then loop them over and over manually until we had long enough of a beat to make a song with. And, you know, when it would loop, it would be off beat because we just two kids using the cassette, but it was as close as we could get. So I was getting the real experience of like DIY. We're using the technology that is we have access to and trying to make something out of nothing. And we did that. We had whole albums, you know what I'm saying? Like on cassettes. I wish I still had them, but you know, I got jumped by some older kids when I was like 13, and they took my bag with all my demo tapes. Man, that shit still hurts. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
When you first found out you could put a piece of paper in the cassette and make your own tape, man, that was life changing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could just overdub what?
Yeah.
Yo, I overdubbed some albums that was kind of alright in order to have my own album on it. You know what I'm saying? So it's necessity and resources, bro. That's what it's all about. We've been on that. So I mean, it really is like I consider myself a child of hip hop. You know what I mean? I was born 9 months almost to the day after the party on Sedgwick Ave. You know what I mean? Like,
dang.
So yeah. So it's real, man. Like,
that's cool.
That was August 73. I'm May 74. So like literally almost 9 months. And you know, from there, my whole life has just been like a hip hop life, man. Like everything I've done just about has been connected to hip hop or, you know, rap in some way. And it's been real good to me, man. So, you know, now I'm in give back mode and still enjoying that too. But, you know, the earliest start was that, right? When I was in school, my man Tehran, and then, you know, just hanging out with kids around the neighborhood and just, you know, doing that more. We had little like beefs, you know, we was just playing, but we had beefs around the way where like, oh, my man Isaac from 2 blocks over thinks he the nicest. He gonna come over with his boombox tomorrow and play some beats and we gonna battle, you know what I'm saying? And then all the kids are gonna be there like, ooh, and then be talking about it forever. So by the time I came up with the name Akrobatik, you know, that coincided with my introduction to cannabis around age 19. You know what I mean? And so once that happened, I started exploring and using my imagination more in my music and just in my art in general. And so 19, I would say, was the age where I really started to go for it. Like, oh, I'm gonna try to be a rapper out here with the rest of them. I mean, I was still doing that when I was younger. I had my demo tape, Pebbles at WIOD played my first demo tape for me. You know what I mean? But like in terms of like really trying to go out here and go at it like a professional, I feel like I finally figured out my way during those years of like 19 to 21. You know,
it's crazy that for you to say, so your first Pebbles played the demo tape, right? On ILD, right? Mm-hmm. So years prior, is me and Guru, you know, the first joint we had like recorded, they played on ILD. You know what I mean? Way,
they were supportive.
You know what I mean? Way like what it was a show, a talent thing or whatever, a challenge.
Yeah.
And so R&B, they wanted us to win, but hip hop was still kind of newish. And this R&B girl, she won. She was number 1. We was number 2. But Candy Eastman at the time was like, you know, pushing our stuff, and that first joint, playing that, you know what I'm saying? You know, obviously we went on to do the things we did, and rest in peace, my brother Gru. But the girl, that was it. So I'm saying that the history could even been changed a bit if she was even like, yo, let's let these dudes win, because then you were gonna get a recording, and then it's like single situation. You know what I mean? So, but
it's true, man. There's a whole bunch of that in the game where it's like, you know, it's almost like the choose your own adventure books. You know, you go to door number 1 or door number 2, and that just branches you off in a whole different direction. It's true.
Somebody is gonna break that door. So where did you get like the name Akrobatik, and what does that mean? You know, because when I first heard it, it was like, you know, being hip hop, it could be 2 things.
I thought it was like flipping rhymes.
This dude could be like a gymnast type motherfucker once upon a time in his life, or the lyrical acrobatic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
that's how I took it. Yeah.
That was my thought process when I heard it. But what is the actuality in the name?
So, well, thanks for asking that, man, because I don't get that many opportunities to explain it. You know, it's just been a name people have been hearing for so long, they just kind of accept it for what it is. But yeah, so it's a few things. The first thing was, I knew that the name Stud B wasn't the name I wanted to take into my adulthood as an MC. You know what I'm saying? So like once it was the 90s, it was like, okay, I'm ready to move on from that. So like that was like the first thing I did after I finished high school, was like, I'm changing my name. So I wanted to have a name that sounded cool, that sounded like, it sounded like a name you would see on a big flyer on a concert. and it would just be something that was just larger than just a person's name. You know, it obviously had to have something coming with it. If this is a person and it's one guy and they're called that. So I wanted to have that effect, but then there was the flipping rhymes like an Akrobatik, you know. Big Daddy Kane had the record Warm It Up Kane, where he's like, come get some, you little bum. I take the cake, but you can't get a crumb from the authentic, ultimate, superior, ultimate, and all that good shit. Then he says, I'm the original Asiatic, acrobatic. There you have it. And I get dramatic. And the way he dropped that word in the line, I always thought it was so cool. And then I started to hear the line in a couple other people, the word in a couple other people's rhymes. LL Cool J said it, you know, on 1-900 LL Cool J. He's like, I'm Asiatic, acrobatic. And I'm like, ooh, not only does that name sound kind of cool, but it's on all this vinyl where we could catch it and do scratches with it and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And then I'm thinking about like marketing. It just sounded cool. It just sounded like something that would make people want to maybe peel back a layer and figure out exactly what that's about. And then the last part of it is just, like I said, like having that larger than life kind of, we're all like superheroes in this game. Like I looked up to so many of y'all as like the people who defined exactly what it was I was trying to accomplish. And everybody just had such a cool name. You know, the only very few MCs were using their regular names, and those cats, it seemed like it was the right thing to do because their names sounded so cool. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Keith Murray and Eric Sermon, those names just sounded dope to me. My name, I'm like, nah, that's not a rap name. I need something with a little bit more pizzazz to it. So that's what that was about.
Did doing A to the K like help like get your name out there even more? Would Be Real?
Yeah, you know, man, you guys are bringing up the good stuff, man. Because no, seriously, because I feel like if I ever fumbled anything in my career, it was that particular record. Not because I like the single, you know what I'm saying? I love it. It's definitely a song at my shows. It gets people hype, and I have Be Real, one of the icons of the industry, on there on the hook with me. Yep. But I just made such a dumb decision when I sent the record to B. He laid a verse down in addition to the hook, and when I sent it to him, it was like, yo, this is kind of like, this is gonna be my record where I'm coming out like, yo, I'm acrobatic. Yeah. Y'all gonna know me. I'm saying my name right here. And so in my mind, I was like, oh man, if I throw this Be Real verse on there, that's gonna take away from the whole point that I'm coming out here as a solo artist trying to establish myself, you know, as a solo MC, aside from Perceptionist and all that, and having to maybe have the crutch of this great MC coming on here to make the record bigger might take away from the point of what I was trying to do. And so I just had him on the hook, and my plan was to put him on the remix for the song on a different beat, and then my hard drive crashed, and I never got the opportunity to get it done. So that's the fumble part for me, you know, and you know, it's just one of those things. I just know the next time I see Be Real, I'm still gonna feel a little bit of that, like, oh man, my bad, dog.
I hear where you're coming from, though. That makes sense. What you're saying. I don't think you should like feel like you made the wrong choice. It's just something unfortunate happened. Like you probably made the right choice, but something unfortunate happened for your remix. But
you know what?
You still got the feature. It's still, when you get the record, when you look at the song, it still says feature Be Real. So all those people who do want to click on it because he's on it.
It's just that on the creative side, you know, just being able to rhyme verse for verse next to one of my favorite MCs. You know what I mean? It was an opportunity missed. I hear what you're saying, though. You know, maybe I shouldn't hang my head about it too bad, but you know, I guess, hey, if that's what I feel was my biggest fumble, then I'm an all right running back. You know
hang that head. Hang that head. Fuck that. But what I'm saying, on some real shit, though.
Thanks, OG.
I know exactly what you mean, because so there was an artist, man. I don't even really have to say his name, but the same thing happened. Premier was producing him and producing these records. It was actually the artist he was dealing with. And they talked about having this single come out, you know, which was Premier produced and whatever at this time, you know. Yeah. And Dude puts out this other thing, you know, that was just totally like, because he wanted to be like, yo, I don't want to come out there, you know, like this is a Premier record, like whatever. I want to do my own thing. I seen that happen mad times. Right?
Yes, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I mean,
You see
come
what I'm
on,
saying?
man. If you go in a premiere, you go in a premiere. You putting that out.
Well, see, but there's a few cats that did it that way, and they waited. They wanted to wait, but to me, that didn't make sense. You know what I mean? Because if you're gonna rock with that, go ahead and rock.
Yeah.
You know,
I should have just dropped both versions the same day.
Right.
I'm
Right,
a
well,
waiter. Yo, I'm a waiter. I got a verse from Be Real still on my hard drive from 2004.
Well,
You know, so I wait on shit.
That man's amazing.
Hey, that's crazy. That's crazy too, because
I'm not judging anybody. I wait.
Hey, no, listen, that's crazy because I thought you were talking about when you worked at 99.
Oh, 94, you mean?
Oh no, he said he was a waiter. I thought he was talking about when he worked at 99. I didn't know. But go ahead.
Nah, not me.
Nah, man, I'm fucking with you. Man, you are waiting. Danger Zone record, one of the illest. What you need? My box real quick.
Word.
Danger Zone record. That's when it finally hits. That's the illest, and it's been a long time.
Yeah. So me and Shug did a song in 2004, the same era that the Be Real record, and some shit had happened, and I lost my hard drives, but I got them back years later, and the Be Real verse, all these verses on there.
Oh man.
And so anyway, I remake a beat for the Big Shug song. And I send it to him, and he goes, "What the fuck is this?" And I was like, "This is a song we did 18 years ago." Or whatever, however long it was ago.
Yeah, man, it's like that, yo. I mean, yo, time goes by so fast, and this hip hop music, especially, I believe, is just so timeless because of like the nostalgia that it brings up. Like, it's ironic that it's timeless because we are addressing what's going on in the time period that we're in. You know what I mean? It's like it's the type of music where more than maybe any other type of music, when you hear it, you can tell when it was made, you know, if not by the style of production, then definitely by the style of maybe the flow or just the subject matter. And that makes it timeless because 50 years from now, they're going to know how we felt about Hurricane Katrina or Donald Trump or whatever. You know what I mean? They're going to know how hip hop felt about
They're
it.
Going to be confused about Donald Trump. They're going to be confused about Donald Trump because it started with everybody saying, "I'm like Donald Trump, like I got bread, I'm rich," and then
That's very true.
Political Donald Trump came in, and everyone's like, "Fuck Donald Trump, I hate Donald Trump." Yeah.
That's why you got to put the timeline with it, though. You know what I mean? Because you're right. Like when Nas is like Trump, up, down, up, play with cash. Like,
it's funny how it's,
you know, and even my man Termanology had a dope line where he was like, you know, I'll buy enough guns to open Trump towers of my own, you know, and I'll control the slums. Yo, it's like, he was just synonymous with money for a time. But I think politically now you'll see though that we understand it. Hip hop understands that stuff and gives it, you know, the more honest spin than I think anything else does.
Oh yeah.
And speaking of, you know, well, so your name is like you said, you want to see it look bigger.
That's why I put the K's on there too.
Right.
You know, they look more rock and roll.
So is that the same thought process when you connect with brother Mr. Lift and it says the Perceptionist? You know what I mean? That's a long ass name too.
Right, that's true.
And
I never thought of it that way.
You can tell us how that came about too, but the Perceptionist, but yeah, you know.
So one day, so me and Liv, we used to just hang out all the time. Like, so when we met, we were like 21. You know what I'm saying? So we were playing video games all the time and stuff. And
what were y'all playing?
Oh, all the sports joints. You know, NBA Live, you know, NHL and FIFA and all those joints. and like sometimes the WWF joints when we wanted to get chaotic with it. Oh, and also Twisted Metal and Bushido Blade. That's pretty much the whole list.
Y'all was wild. Y'all was wild. Playing all them shit. Y'all crazy, man. Wow.
Yeah, we was wild. Twisted Metal, like we got to the point where we could beat the game co-op on the hardest difficulty without losing a life. We'd be staked out. He'd be at the top of the Eiffel Tower, and I'd be on the streets, like curving around blocks at 2 miles an hour, sniping cats. Like it was crazy. But
y'all was gaming hard body. Go ahead, man.
Go ahead. And in between game, every time we finish a game, then it would be like, all right, I'm gonna work on this beat for a half an hour. You write 8 bars. You know what I'm saying? And then before we knew it, we just had a bunch of material to go do shows with.
Who was making the beats, him or you?
Both of us.
Both of us.
Yeah, so in the early days, like in our earliest material, even though he had a solo EP and I had a solo EP, you know, we were producing stuff for each other before we actually became a group. Mm-hmm. So that's why the group kind of happened so quick, because once we decided to actually officially do it, we already had everything ready to go. You know what I mean? We just needed to, we needed to make some new songs for a new album, but like our routine, our chemistry and all that, the camaraderie had already been there, because we met up in like 95, you know, and so by the time we put our first album out together, it was 05. So the Perceptionist name, that just came from one of those days where I'm at his crib, we just working on some music, you know, mostly beats, just working on beats, because he had a crazy vinyl collection at his crib, at his mom's crib. You know, we came up like brothers. And so one day I was just standing in his kitchen, and he walked into the kitchen and he was like, "Yo, I think I know what our name is, dog." And I was like, "What's that?" He was like, "The Perceptionist." And I was like, I bet. And ever since then, we've just been the Perceptionist. Like there wasn't nothing no crazier than that to it.
There's a third. There's a third, really, isn't there? A third member?
DJ Fax One.
Fax
Actually,
One.
There was originally 4 of us. We had DJ Sense also.
Oh wow.
So we would do shows. We'd have it was real promising. We'd have like, you know, me and Lip on the mic, and we'd have the 2 DJs up on stage with us at the same time, and we were really having some fun. But it just didn't pan out. You know, there was a lot of work that went into keeping that going. And because everybody had all these other ambitions outside of music, you know, like Fax is big into like race cars and stuff like that, and like working on race cars. He runs a automotive shop. Sense ended up being an executive at Nike. You know what I mean? He started off at New Balance. Now he's like a big wig at Nike. So it's like, you know, Perceptionist is me and Lift now, you know, but those guys are always going to be the extended family. I mean, since, you know, he left earlier, but Fax basically decided that he was going to start his family at the time when the group was about to start touring. And that's the only reason why he didn't remain part of the group, because even to this day, he's made beats for us and shit like that. Like, you know, some of my favorite tracks with Liv are produced by Fax in the last like 10 years.
Oh, that's crazy too, because, you know, everything's always a learning experience as well, no matter what. Because I never knew that you made beats. I just used to know about, you know, you rhyming, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
And you know, some people always have these different sides and different elements. But I know it was also a dope time too, as we move along, when we all did that record together. You know, when I like see, it's crazy because and coming from Boston and just being, you know, MCs and stuff like that, and I might have been a little bit before, whatever, and continue to still do my thing. But it was always a thing like, you know, people had styles, you know, like me, I had like a, you know, straightforward, hardcore type style, like, you know, get up in your gut type, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Guys had,
that's why we love you, Shug. That's why we love you. That's why we love you, bro.
I appreciate that. But at the same time, then I listen to you, then I'm hearing verbal wordplay type shit. Different flow, but the flow had the vernacular was like heavy, like there was a lot of lyric in it. You know what I mean? So, and then you had other guys.
G Squared rapped. I said, and then G Squared rapped.
I mean, well, you know.
Shout out to my homie G Squared. That's my guy.
There's different elements though. And
he made the beat too.
Yeah,
he did. But the shit was ill. The shit was ill because, like, and I don't know how they put it together. I just know when I was doing my verse, then I heard the last part and I was like, oh shit, okay. Everybody came right, you know what I mean? And it was some Boston shit. I mean, do you ever think about that, or what was your mindset going into that, you know?
Yeah.
That was just an absolute honor, man. That goes back to what I was saying. Like, this was a major step towards what I was talking about in terms of like getting that seat at the table with the MCs that I've always looked up to, because now here's the MCs locally that I've always looked up to coming to me and saying, yo, literally, we got a seat at the table for you. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is go in and hold it down, and it's yours.
Yeah.
And so I was going into writing that verse like, you know, looking back on it, it's a verse, it's 8 bars. But at the time, I was like, yo, I'm gonna make sure this is the dopest shit any of these niggas ever heard ever. You know what I'm saying? And like really trying to make sure that I impressed everybody. And then to think that, you know, I got to be last on the track, which like, for those that really know, like getting to be last on a posse cut, that's a really honorable spot.
And it's been a long time, but don't you say your neighborhood is your last bar? Isn't that the last thing?
It's the first bar. My rap styles changed like Rodman's hair. Is acrobatic representing Compton Square.
Yeah, okay. I knew you.
Yo, to this day, that's one of my rhymes that more people will come up to me and quote than anything else. You know, like people are proud that I said that, because it's like there's not a whole lot of references to Compton Square on record anywhere in music. So as far as I know, it's one of the only ones, if not the only one. So that, you know, being the person that got to rep in that way, that was real positive.
Was Guru already on the song when you laid your verse, or was that a late addition?
I think I knew he was going to be on the song, but he hadn't laid his verse yet.
Okay.
Rest his soul.
It's crazy. I know it's crazy how he said when people heard Common Square, so and how they were honored by that, and that's our shit. That was the same thing with me when it comes to Matter Pen. You know, what I mean? Like worldwide, like anybody who says it now, whatever, that's cool because it's represent. But I was the original like Matter Pen. And then I remember I did a song on Group Home's album, Serious Rap Shit, SRS. And I said some shit like, and once again, it's the roughneck nigga from Boston, right? And then I said, you get caught, one line was, you get caught up like Ted Kennedy in Chappaquiddick. So because I spit that for you to be in New England or whatever, you really knew like, oh shit, this dude's from, because that's when people didn't see all the video all the time. And they heard records and they were like, oh, this dude's from Boston, who is this dude? Then they found out it was me, and then they're like, "Oh, Shug, I heard when you said," you know what I mean? So
yeah, definitely. I'm always trying to like emphasize that aspect of the culture to my students, you know, in the classes that I teach, because, you know, everybody sees the mainstream hip hop, and you can observe that and take it on a case by case basis, however you want. But when you research independently or like research different cities and their scenes, like who is actually representing for those cities is just as important. You know what I mean? Like it's always cool to say, oh yeah, we had this person from here blow up, but like most cities have their legends where it's like, yo, this person's been repping for our city since way back. Like, you know, like E40, you know what I'm saying? He's the mayor in the Bay. It don't matter what he does. You know what I'm saying? You just walk in and it's just love. Like he said, like, you know, when I pull up, people gather around like the ice cream truck. You know what I mean? Like, and that's how all the other genres do it with their legends and their icons. And so we need to reinforce that in hip hop, that, you know, it's not just about who's popping now, because if we do that, then we'll always just be forgetting what happened.
Maybe
if we continue to, you know, maintain that connections with the people who got us here and the people whose shoulders we're standing on and all of that, then that's how the culture can stand for a long time, and they can't revise the history and rewrite what happened, because we all are sharing with each other what's been going on, and we passing the torch, and nobody has to be afraid of passing the torch, because really you just lending the torch, and you know, you lighten that torch, and now both torches are lit, and everybody just keep going until they're done. Because we don't know who's going when. So, you know, I like the opportunity that teaching gives me to stay connected to the younger generations too, and to let them know about what we all were doing and what you guys were doing before that.
On top of that, Ray, I was feeling the Wonder Twin Power shit like real quick, but I was waiting for it, you know, just to happen. I remember y'all had some cartoon cover on one of them shits, one of them album covers, and you know how they always make you look superhero in them shits, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been seeing y'all. Yeah, I was like dope. I was like, yo, hey, you know how they do it. You love that. Even my logo, the original one, the big Shug holding up the name. It's like it makes you forever etched in stone, like that superhero.
Absolutely, man. Yo, if I had it my way, every time anybody saw me, it would be an animated cartoon character.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, just picking up buildings and throwing them at people and shit like that, like whatever.
Hey, we got you here, so I was explaining to Jeru because we were talking about the levels of songs anyway, and Snoop Dogg being a big. I was talking to DL, Snoop Dogg being a big artist and bigger than Jeru, but I was trying to explain to him at the time how at that specific time this thing was really big. He was pretty big in the East Coast, Jeru. But I said some songs you got to check, and one, if you probably peeped it, was The Prophet.
Oh yeah, of course.
And do you remember that video though?
You Can't Stop the Prophet. Yeah, the video with the animated characters, but they was just like moving photos, like drawing that were moving on the screen. It was dope. Super creative.
Dope. That's what I'm saying. It was like you kind of almost lived that song through that video. You could feel that whole shit. That's what I meant. The power of it. First of all, the album was crazy, but that's what I was telling him. You got to take that trip. Jeru was a dude who was spitting factual, right? Yeah. Also making it like fly, like because you got Preem at his apex with the beats.
Yo, I think that there's very, very few MCs who I enjoy listening to more on Primo beats than Jeru. Like those whole first two albums, I love every song. Like I love the Wrath of the Math album. You know what I'm saying? Like
I was lived it. I know. It's crazy you said that because when you said the first two albums, then the third one is when he took control of the beat maker. That's my brother, but he's older now, so he realizes, like, damn.
Well, I mean, it's like how can you be anyone? It's gonna be a drop off from anyone from Premier. Like, okay, Premier produced the last album. Now, like, who can produce the next one in order for it not to be a drop off? There's like maybe two people, like Timbaland. You know what I'm saying? Like, it probably stops there.
You know what? But some people that exhibited the growth of it and what you had to do, which I feel like what you had to do is get the next producer, catch them hot. Because if you think about it, so Jay-Z and Nas, they fucked with Preem heavy. Like when they first came out, they was like Biggie too. All of them. You see what I'm saying? It became a point where it shifted, and they went in the other directions, and they were meeting the Just Blazers and the other, dudes at the time that were coming up, and Timbaland and Dre and different things. But at first, it was heavy Preem. So that's the difference where some of these cats, like maybe if he made a move, you know what I mean, and got like that next type of producer or something, and maybe it's a different story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, but regardless, man, Jeru's a legend, man. He's left his mark on the lyricist game indelibly. You know what I'm saying? I know you know that as well as anybody. And as far as Preem, I'm just thinking, like, while you're saying this, I'm like, yeah, Preem's just the best. Like, all my favorite MCs, my favorite songs of theirs are when they linked up with Preem. Yo, I have always been a Busta Rhymes fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, my dog is named Busta. Yeah. Like, I'm in awe of Busta Rhymes. He finally, on an album that he put out around the time of the pandemic, did a joint with Preem. Right. And I almost destroyed my studio when I heard that shit because it was dope.
You know what's so sad about what you said? Term has a song with Primo and Busta Rhymes. And it came out.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, it came out like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. And
I don't know if I heard that.
Yeah, check it out.
I'm a big Term fan. I got to go back and check that out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, see what it is.
Okay. I'm gonna check that one out. The jam that I guess this is because it's on like an official Busta album, so I caught wind of it a lot more easily. But it's the joint True Indeed, and he got the cut from Woo-Ha where it's like Busta Rhymes up in the place of truth. But it's Preem cutting it, so you know it's gonna be the dopest shit ever. As soon as he is on the wheels, that's the thing, because it's like he's the best producer, but he also might be the best DJ as far as like turntablists that you would want scratching on a record.
Yeah.
Some DJs get on a record and they're like, "Oh my God, this is my chance to show everybody that I'm the illest DJ in the whole world that ever lived. Oh my God, here we go. Check out this course." And
I'd like to know. I'd like to know who created it, like who created the scratch hook. But whoever created it, like he mastered it. Like when you think of a scratch hook, it's DJ Premier. That's what you think of. There's no second guy.
Yeah, I think we have Grand Wizard Theodore to thank for the actual idea of making, scratching be seen as instrumentalism.
Oh, okay.
But like, yeah, I agree with you, DL, man. Like, yo, Premier he turned it into like this beautiful, essential part of the musical genre. Making the sentences out of the cuts the way that he's always done, and the people that have been influenced to do the same thing.
Like we're coming, like I told you before, we're working on an album, and it's like when I feed it to him, I sometimes I might give him a couple of lines from some shit I might have heard, but then I know when it comes back, like that verse, that hook is crazy too. It's like, oh shit. Or he might be able, because I might have sang something, he'll be like, yo, I left that part. But this part,
I don't know Cream nearly as well as you do, Shug, but it's always been my theory that he really listens to a lot of rap music, or he can rap himself, because he just knows exactly where everything is supposed to drop all the time. Sometimes he'll drop something from a record and a hook, and it sounds doper in the hook than it did in the rhyme that he sampled it.
Yeah, like Snoop Dogg when he scratches "Dear God, I wonder can you save me?"
Right, like stuff like that. Exactly.
It just sounds so dope when he does it. Yeah, it's crazy.
Let me ask you a question, because got a couple of moves. I got a couple.
Can I just ask you one thing, Shug? Because speaking of that, just because it's directly connected, and I've always wanted to know, is that your voice on Nas' Second Childhood when it's like, when I flow for the streets? Is that you?
I don't know. I have to check that again.
Okay, I just know that Premier has all your acapellas.
He does use a lot of them, and I won't even know. So I hear the song, and then I'll be like, oh shit, that's me. You know what I mean?
One thing before that, Shug, before our listeners, the song is called "Little Fame" in Termanology, featuring Busta Rhymes and Styles P.
I just peeped it.
Played Dirty produced by DJ Premier.
That's the thing I'm doing.
Yeah, but I know you love Busta on the Primo, so I figured you'd want to check that one out.
I got it. Termanology is also one of my favorite MCs, and salute to Styles P. I got to meet him last year when we did a show together. All those brothers are real as hell, man.
Hell yeah.
And like when I say Term's one of my favorite MCs, it ain't just because I'm from Mass, and it ain't just because I know him. I really think that he's one of the most prolific and one of the smartest MCs in the game. His albums, Hood Politics, he got music that is for every occasion. I know everybody leans towards whatever it is that they feel the most, but I feel like he got music for everybody. He's a real dope MC. I've known him since he was a kid in high school. He used to cut school to come open up for us at shows. Just incredible dude.
I feel he's one of the dope ones too, and I tell him that, I got a couple of questions, real quick before I get out of town.
Yes, sir.
So how did you become this teaching thing, like in brief, Because I know you just mentioned, like, in a couple of your classes, but what's the situation? How did that become?
So that was something that chose me. I was, over the years, I had been known to maybe come in and like visit with like school music classes and do little workshops, maybe teach them the like earliest introductions of how to make a beat, or just kind of come in and tell my story a little bit to let them know that, you can be from the hood in Boston and still connect with people around the world and do things through art and through hip hop. So there was a background to that. And so there's a professor at UMass Boston named Rachel Rubin, and she had a class that was called Music in Pop Society, or something along those lines. Like pop music and mainstream culture or something like that. And so she called me and asked me to, just as a guest artist, come in and talk to her class, because she was doing a unit on hip hop. And when I walked in that day to do that, she had the message bumping as I walked into the room. So the vibe just felt right off the bat. I'm like, wait, this is a college class and she's bumping the message. This is, like a older white lady. Turns out she's from Baltimore. She grew up, just loving hip hop, and she's a scholar and has written a bunch of books. And so she just put all her skill set together and came up with an idea for a class, but she wanted to teach the class alongside someone who had more expertise in the field. And so after I visited her class at one time, she was like, yo, that went so smooth. How would you feel about co-teaching this hip hop class for a semester? And we did it. It went so well. The students loved it. We did it again, same results. And then eventually the university was just like, yo, you should teach this course on your own here. And now I just finished my 10th year
That's beautiful.
at UMass Boston. So, they put a lot of trust in me to be the person who's responsible for, giving hip hop education to all these students there. Alongside now, I have 2 classes. One I teach by myself with the Honors College, and then I teach a class with the American Studies Department with Professor Jeff Melnick, who's just another incredible dude who's like a historian and archivist and has been researching and studying hip hop since the very beginning of the whole thing in the 70s. He knows all you guys stuff.
Yeah, that's so dope too, because I've been to plenty of schools all around, around in the East Coast, what have you, West Coast, where I've spoke to students, about the success and as far as where I came from, it wasn't the easiest all the time. So, so I relate to that. And I had a quick little story where I brought my whole presentation to a Catholic school, and they had the nuns and all that, and the kids were all happy that I came, and I'm playing Crush, Militia. And you see these nuns like just they had a new wave type of principle. My Uncle Bob, shout out to him. So he was the one that had ushered me in. But after they saw it, got this vibe, and they cause you on the big ass screen, you got Crush, Video, Militia, all that stuff, and then the nuns is jamming with it. We taking pictures before selfies and all that. We using portable cameras and all that, but it was an experience, and the teaching is always good.
You can't deny the energy, even if you don't quite understand what's going on with the poetry. You can't deny the energy of stuff like that, and you can see how it motivates people, man. I had Freddie Foxxx visit my class 2 semesters ago, and he sat down and talked with us for an hour and a half, and these kids were hanging on every word Bumpy was saying.
That's how it is too.
Because it's even though the beauty of it is that I give them the opportunity. I'm like, here's 6 songs by Freddie Foxxx to listen to. Here's a couple of news articles and here's a couple of music videos. So by the time we're sitting with them, all the students are familiar with them. And so then once he starts telling the stories and they're hearing it, it's like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Their minds are blown.
These are good stories.
They know what the real history and origins are. So by the time they're sitting with Freddie Foxxx in front of them, they're really ready to hear about all that.
But the dope thing is about that is, we appreciate who you are and who you be. We like the fact that you're Akrobatik the MC, but we would like for you to tell us your 10 favorite MCs.
Oh, 10? I think 10 is okay, because 5, I would just bow out. Bad. The signal's bad. The signal's bad.
10's us.
Okay. So favorite MCs. So that means it's not. I don't think that they're the 10 greatest lyricists. My 10 favorite people to listen to.
Yes,
my
sir.
10 favorite people to listen to.
Yes.
All right. No particular order though, okay? Because we'll be here all day. I'm gonna just go till I run out of fingers.
Okay.
Nas.
Mm-hmm.
KRS-One.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you got 11 fingers, though, son.
Black Thought.
Wow,
Dope.
nice.
Woof. Busta Rhymes.
Of course.
Come on, man. Q-Tip, the Abstract Poetic.
Okay.
All right, that leaves me with 5 more, huh?
5 more.
Woo. All right. I'm about to bring it. Here we go. Gifted Unlimited Rhymes Universal. Sorry, man.
That's dope.
Catalog stands up against any MC ever, just about.
Just 4 more.
All right.
4 more before you go on tour.
4 more before we go on tour, no doubt. I'm gonna have to go with Reggie Noble.
Oh, nice.
Redman.
Hell yeah.
Now we got 3 more. I know I'm overlooking someone, but maybe not though, because if they haven't come up into my mind, I don't see how that is possible. Man, we're just talking top 10 here.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like those are the cats who I listen to more often than not.
Nice.
Now my last 3 might start to be based on like talent alone, because now it's like I feel like these last 3 spots is like the playoff. You could have a play-in tournament with like 8 to 10 people to get into these last 3 spots here. So that being said, I am going to say, damn, I'm putting Mr. Liff in there because I've been listening to his music for, half of my life, and his music and lyrics are unbelievable. So there's Liff, especially since, there's also a million other cats that I think are on the same level as him, maybe not a million, but there's a few. But the difference is that those cats all had the budgets in their careers to get their music heard. I think if as many people knew about Mr. Liff, he would be considered.
It's funny you say that too, because I think about that too with a lot of work that I put out and then the money that's behind certain things. And people, the independent stuff will have more legs because someone might think something's brand new 5 years from now. You know what I mean? Because they just heard it. So how many you get there?
2. We got 2 left now.
Okay.
Common Sense.
Okay.
Common Sense is going in there. And then that last spot I'm going to reserve for, man, it's like there's people I know are good. Like it's not like I couldn't just sit here and say, oh, here's the 10 most talented, because Eminem's not in my top 10, but he's definitely one of the most top talented rappers, right?
You can appreciate a rapper as amazing without really liking what he does. Like, I don't like the Beatles. I don't like the Beatles, but I understand they're super popular.
Right, but I could do a 2-hour lecture on why Eminem is phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? It's just I just don't listen to his records like that. So, all right. So the last spot, just in the interest of time here, for now, man, just my favorite MCs now. This is my favorite MCs now too, by the way, not of all time. Like, this is who I listen to now.
That's cool. That's good.
Okay.
One more.
Yeah, I think that one name keeps popping into my head, and because of that, I'm going to put that on this list. But literally, fellas, y'all could ask me the same question a week from now, and 3 to 5 names might be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But for now, I'm putting Pharoah Monch on that list.
Oh, wow.
That's a dope one, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got your 10 favorite MCs of the moment or the time. We'll catch you in the weeks and see if you can reshine. Maybe you can rewind or come up with something. I'm going to still be here at the End Zone, Danger Zone residence. You know what it is, me and Mr. DL, baby. We here with Akrobatik. I just got one more thing I want to ask you because
yes, sir.
We're about to make like Salt and Dash. Imagine that shit. Anyway, right?
Salt was my first hip hop crush, by the way.
Oh, shit.
For real?
I always tell my students that. Yeah, Salt from Salt and Pepper, boy. I was 13 years old. You couldn't tell me shit. That was gonna be my wife.
Speaking of shit, she said that on that album, and that was the first time my mom ever heard like someone swear in music. On a record? Yeah. She said, what is this? Yeah. What is this?
Hey, he was
really just died. I don't need your bull. Come on, man.
So listen, man, we just want you to tell the people, because we're gonna bring you back too, because we got so much more to touch on. But we would like for you to tell the people your socials and what you got coming up, man, and what we can look for from Akrobatik and the Perceptionist and what have you.
Word up. Well, thanks again for the opportunity. As far as socials, I can be found on, I primarily use Instagram at Akrobatik MC, AKROBATIK MC. I'm also on, I'm on Facebook, and you can find me pretty much out there. Like, I have a SoundCloud page that has a few unreleased tracks, but all my music for the most part is available on Spotify and Pandora and all the streaming services. So I just usually direct people towards that. I also have Akrobatik MC at Bandcamp. If you want to go and make a donation directly to the artist, that I'll see 100% of it, or closer to 100% than it would be any other way, more than a stream. But other than that, man, I'm just out here in the world. You can catch me with the Perceptionist. We're going to be doing a bunch of shows together this month of June. We're going to be in Vermont on the 10th. We're going to be in Keene, New Hampshire on the 9th, actually. And we're going to be in Boston for a rare Boston engagement at the Lizard Lounge on June 22nd with Dub Apocalypse, a really dope live band backing us for DJ Slipwax. That's going to be crazy. And then we're doing that again the next night at Parlor Providence on the 23rd. So those are some things to come out and check. And then there's a 50th anniversary hip hop celebration on the 30th that I'm going to be hosting. I believe that's going to be like right in Nubian Square, but I'll be posting way more information about all that stuff on my Instagram. So I would say follow me there. That's a great place to just keep in touch and keep up with anything that I might be doing related to hip hop and education.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, listen, man, we appreciate you stopping by, man, on some fly shit.
Oh,
and,
thank you for having me, man. Salute. I'm just so
Militant
happy
Raw,
to be a
that
part
was
of this
my
journey
jam.
with y'all, man.
Hell yeah.
What's that now?
Who produced Militant Raw? That was a record. I gotta hear
That
somewhere.
was produced by this brother right here.
Nice. That's a banger, man. That beat's hard. That beat's hard.
Oh, thank you.
I have it here
Yeah, I
somewhere.
was making a lot more beats back then.
My shit ain't
That's your
alphabetized, so I never can find them when I want them. But I have.
Oh
them.
yeah,
I got
if you have that instrumental, send it to me. I could use it.
Oh yeah, I could do that. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Word, I appreciate that. And yo, and I also love the beat you made for the Utilize Your High remix with my man Slaine. You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
So
Hell yeah. Thank you.
I look forward to working more with all of y'all, man. As a matter of fact, Shug, I got a record with you in mind too. So you let me know when things slow down for you a little bit, and let's.
Good. When you get, I'm in the studio time, so you all the time actually. So
Okay.
just get it to me when you're ready, and we would move forward. Man.
Let's talk about it then, brothers. I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me and giving me some time.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate
It's
it.
dope.
Luke, brother.
All right, salute to y'all. Y'all have a great day.
Yes, you too.
Seems to be that time of the week where we talk about people who are stupid.
Yeah, man. And that's a script. Hey, being stupid is like death. It's imminent. There's always going to be somebody that's stupid, man, and there's always going to be death soon. This week, stupid as hell.
Oh man, it is the best time of the week. Shout out to our guest Akrobatik, but it's time for stupid as hell. Bam, 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 bam.
Hey, a Daytona Beach man is facing a second-degree misdemeanor for shooting a bear that was trying to eat trash when he meant to only fire a warning shot. According to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, officers said they were called to Alejandro Castellano's home in Indian Lake Road, 24, and when they arrived, Castellano told him that he got a notification from his alarm that there was an activity in his yard. So he went outside and saw a black bear trying to get in his trash, probably get something to eat or something. So Castellano grabbed his 22 caliber rifle and fired what was meant to be a warning shot and accidentally struck the bear. Officers said they went in the woods with an FWC biologist, whatever that means, and found the bear, but determined that his back was broken and wouldn't be able to recover, so it was euthanized. And of course, charged for a misdemeanor. The reason why, like I say, this week, stupid as hell, is Alejandro Castellano, is because anybody with a gun knows, especially where you live, you know the rights of your shit.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get arrested because you shot a bear, knowing that, like, what the law is. To me, it's like, it's super stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then even the fact that you even got to go to jail for shooting a bear.
Yeah.
That was in your trash.
And it's like, one, you're shooting a bear that's not attacking you, and two,
Right.
it's probably an endangered species, and now you're fucked federally.
Oh, they got that black bear law where it's at. So you know everything around you. Plus, he might have smelled a jelly sandwich or something in the trash. That boy wasn't going to harm nobody. He was going to eat.
Yeah.
So this week, Alejandro, that's what it is.
Boricua.
Alejandro Castellano, Baricua. This week, stupid as hell. And what is, next time you pull the trigger on a defenseless bear, know what time it is, kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We off that.
So that was another good one, man. That guy sounds pretty intelligent.
Yeah.
Thanks to Akrobatik for stopping through. Thanks to everyone that showed up to the block party and got your merch. People make excuses a lot, Shug. I don't know what they're making excuses for, but what do you tell people when they make too many excuses?
What was he make excuse for this time?
No, I'm talking about you. You have a phrase that you like to end the episodes with.
Yeah. I didn't know he was ready. That's why I didn't say that. I think you just talking about some other shit. I'm like, Humpty Dumpty. Which way did he go? Hey, I didn't see him. Which way did he go? Let me at him. I'll kill him. But anyway, right? Yo, we appreciate y'all, man. Episode 72 in the books.
Yep.
Remember, excuses have no purpose, so don't make them. And as we grow, we glow. You know what I'm saying? So we're always continuously shining, you know, and things is looking good and we're going to be here. Peace.
On my dark days, I chopped crack on a regular. Ran up in spots and clapped on a regular. Took big fat ass stacks from the register. No matter how hard they tried, they still couldn't measure the hard I have.